In today's equity index futures markets, let's focus on the S&P 500 future today as we're seeing a nice bounce again, a continuation of the rally, a second straight day higher, pushing up towards the top end of the range really for the better part of the last 7 weeks. And we're looking at an S&P 500 future right around the 2868 level, top end of the range, as I mentioned, and challenging those April 17 highs. And the upward trajectory continues to maintain itself as we're seeing most of the major averages higher today. And I think a couple of factors helping to support the S&P 500 future relative to maybe some of the other averages was the rotation that took place today. We did see some of the out of favor names coming back into favor. Some of the names like the industrial names and particularly the small cap names, we did see the Russell futures up quite substantially, about 4.6% today. Came back into the favor. Maybe some value hunters, maybe a rotation taking place. And we did not see the tech sector, particularly the NASDAQ, participate as much today. However, it certainly has outpaced most of the major average futures to this point this year. Another factor, I think you got to point at state governments now indicating that they're expecting to open up their economies here in the coming weeks. And I think we did get some announcements today that the market viewed as a very positive sign. And that's, I think, another reason why we did see this rotation taking place today and benefiting some of these names that had struggled during this shutdown. And so I think those two factors were the big drivers today. And when you look at the trends in place, S&P 500 futures now, again, challenging the April highs, as I mentioned, right at those April 17 highs. So it'll be interesting to see if we can continue to maintain this upward trajectory. And also, when you look at the general trends of all the futures, I want to point out the NASDAQ futures are actually up on the year now. Year to date, the NASDAQ futures up about just over 0.5%. So very interesting dynamic there when you look at the other major averages, and I just want to point those out, where we're seeing the Russell futures, even though they had a very nice run today, still down 23% on the year. The S&P 500 futures down about 11% on the year. We're seeing the Dow futures down about 15.5% on the year. So once again, even though today most of these major average futures outpaced the NASDAQ certainly has been the cream of the crop for 2020.